finish going. Yeah, we're live. Cool. Awesome. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Tia. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I am unintentionally kind of patriotic today. I went to the beach, social distancing, don't worry, wore the mask the whole time, stayed away from pretty much everyone, which is what I usually kind of like to do when I go to the beach because I'm not really into, say, socializing with other people at the beach, which sounds really messed up because in my normal life, I actually love socializing with people. I will pick a conversation at a supermarket, which probably annoys people. And on the flip side of that, when I'm at a beach, I literally just like laying down, soaking up the sun, then going into the water and, being with, sorry, there's like cat hair everywhere. I own 4 cats, so it just happens. But my whole point is I kind of just like having me time when I go to the beach. And so social distancing. Yes. Anyway, happy 4th of July, everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe out there. Hope everyone realizes that you can blow a fingertip off with fireworks. So please be careful with that. And please don't drink and drive. But besides that, I hope everyone is having an amazing day. And I hope that you're all soaking up the sun because it is quite beautiful out. At least it is in New York. I just realized that. So I tried to be patriotic with the makeup. The shirt was unintentionally patriotic. It was just something that I threw on. But I did want to kind of do something with my makeup because we may go out later. But it ended up kind of looking like the French flag, which I'm fine with. But anyway, sorry, enough about that. I'm not a beauty makeup channel or anything, and considering how much drama has been going on with them lately, I kind of don't want to be. But the reason for this tea time is that I just watched the first season of Hanna on Amazon Prime, and I will definitely most likely finish the entire season by tomorrow. I'll have a written out review of the whole entire series, but after watching the first episode, there was a lot of notes that I was taking, and I felt that I wanted more of a oh God, what is it called? I'm like totally blanking. More of a contained review that I can speak to and express about this. So I wanted to talk about the first season of season 2 of Hanna. Obviously, the title says that there are spoilers here. So if you have not watched the first season of Hanna, season 2, don't watch this, but definitely go and watch Hanna. I really can't wait to finish the rest because there is a lot. There's a lot. So obviously the first season ended with Hanna and trainee 249 Clara out on the run. And the first episode kind of started a little similar, say, to the first episode of season 1, where you have Hanna and Eric in the forest and they're training. And in this, it's Hanna and Clara training, essentially sort of surviving. And there's some really cool parallels in season 1 when Eric was with Hanna. Hanna was obviously feeling restless, coming upon the age of 15 and having lived in a forest her entire life. Eric was obviously insisting that this was for her own good and was the only place where she could be safe. Now, Hanna, who went to leave the forest and wanted to explore and be curious, she is now echoing Eric's she's echoing Eric's God, I can't speak today. It's the sun. His words. Trying to think of something else, but when words just kind of escape you. So she's kind of echoing that with Clara, insisting to her that the forest is the only place that's safe, while Clara is kind of now also wondering how long will they be stuck in the forest for, especially now that Clara kind of knows the truth and she has found out about her own biological mother. She has that same sort of desire to find everything out the way Hanna did. So I did like that, their dynamic in the forest and how that worked out. Season 2, episode 1 definitely was faster. than season 1, episode 1, whereas I feel like the entirety of, say, The Forest, kind of establishing the relationship between Eric and his daughter Hanna, took up the entire first episode of season 1. It kind of dragged just a little. This didn't. It was quick. It showed other things. It didn't just show Hanna and Clara. And so let's get into that, right? So in this episode, the girls from the facility that we saw at the end of season 1 are transported somewhere called the Meadows, where this organization is claiming that, of course, it's more freedoms, yada yada. They can act more like teenage girls, whatever. But in reality, it still is just all a way to control. They may not be wearing the same uniforms and they may not be stuck in their rooms, but what they are being given is a whole new identity. So all of these trainees who were probably just called trainee X, Y, and Z are given a file with their names, their new identities, their backgrounds, and it's all not real, which is also kind of a metaphor for what they are. So something that is revealed by the character John Carmichael is, as opposed to, say, with Hanna and Clara, where they are children who were taken by from birth because their mothers chose to give them up. These girls, and this is where not that it lost me for a second, but I almost kind of was like, what? They revealed that these girls are synthetically made. They are not organic. So essentially, they were created as opposed to being born. And then he reveals things like how with Hanna and Clara, and I believe the other girls as well, that they were ingrained with wolf DNA, and that's why their bones are stronger. And I will say in season 1, there definitely was some abnormal supernatural strength to Hanna, and I didn't maybe think that much about it. I, of course, in my mind thought that they would go over it in season 2, and they obviously did. But the whole thing with them being synthetic, this show definitely, first of all, the wolf DNA gave me flashbacks to Altered Carbon season 2, which the more I think about it, was not nearly as enjoyable as season 1. For those who know me, Altered Carbon season 1 was probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, show of 2018. And it was disappointing that Altered Carbon season 2 kind of it just didn't live up to it. But one of the things was, in Altered Carbon season 2, they said that Anthony Mackie's sleeve was ingrained with wolf DNA. Now, me and one of my associates did a review on that where we said that that was never revisited, and I'm wondering if going to be revisited or if it's something thrown in there simply for not shock value, but more so of maybe just to kind of show that this is why these girls are really strong and yada yada. But to me, I'm wondering if it's even going to come into play later on. But yeah, that was a bit strange. But so these girls are synthetically made, and now they're being given all these new aspects about themselves that they have to learn. And we see how each girl is kind of coping with it. So you have one girl, Sandy, she's this blonde girl. She's given her file, which says, this is your new outfits, this is your new name, you have this as a parent, you're from here, blah, blah, blah. And at first you see all the girls kind of exchanging their new names. I feel like something incredibly real, even though they're synthetically made, they show that they are kind of going through the same processes, the same experiences that teenage girls would, such as there's at some point between Sandy and then this new trainee who's given the name Jules, who exchange kind of their what they were given, and Jules says that in her file she has a boyfriend and he's hot, and Sandy's like, well, can I see him? And I feel like that little thing, like that is something a 15-year-old would do. They would kind of react like that. But Sandy, you can tell that she's sort of yearning for all of this, because they get this woman in named Terry, who's essentially responsible for maintaining like the social media, the messaging, the emails for these girls, for their families and such. So Sandy is, and it's a bit of role playing, Sandy is messaging her mother or her father. In reality, she's just messaging back and forth with this woman, Terry. And while Sandy is enjoying it, she really is making it seem as if she believes that this is the case. This is really real. And at some point, Jules says to her, this isn't real. These are just the identities that they've given us. You do realize that, right? This is all fake, and this is just all kind of like an exercise. And you see Sandy getting very defensive, and she even goes and messages Terry the way that a young daughter would to her mother. I got into a fight with my friend today. She just doesn't get it, yada, yada. So I think that's interesting. I think that this girl, Sandy, is definitely going to play into the rest of the season, which I have not watched yet. So what other notes did I have? I want to say that, yes, I still miss Eric, Joel Kinnaman as Eric. We get maybe like one or two kind of flash scenes. I'm not even going to call them flashbacks. It just kind of like flashes image on the screen. And there are a few times where Hannah's sitting there and she can hear Eric's voice telling her what to do. So you have that, but it's not the same to me. And the one thing that I wanted to kind of point out here is Marissa. And now we knew that Marissa and Eric had some sort of past with each other, obviously. I don't need to really go into that any further, but the fact that she essentially helped Eric and Hanna in the last episode of season 1 kind of was glossed over, which I feel like would make sense in such a emotionless sort of crowd and facility that this whole operation is. So that kind of makes sense to me. But at the same time, John Carmichael is very calculating. He knew exactly how to play to Marissa what he wanted, even though he's still intending on keeping Marissa on. And there's something really unique about Marissa, that she was, the villain in season 1, the very cold, calculating person who was manipulative, and she even kind of going tit for tat with Eric at some point. But she seems to deeply care for Hanna. Whether she cares for Hanna or somehow really cared for Eric and, sees Hanna as an extension of Eric, I'm not exactly sure. But it was interesting because not only did Marissa seem sad at the fact that, spoiler alert again, I mean, this whole thing has been spoilers, but not only did Marissa seem sad at the fact that the group did then kind of force Hanna out of the forest. But so she seems sad because at some point through the events of the episode, Clara and Hanna, get discovered, and Marissa was told that John Carmichael only wanted Clara. He didn't want Hanna. He planned on leaving Hanna alone, and that clearly didn't happen. So Marissa seems sad about that. She also seems sad about Clara. She tried to get Clara to come back peacefully and tried to almost be her friend. And when it seemed that Clara was going to be combative, she almost got to me, I felt it, that she was so worried and saying, don't do that. And when Clara was dragged away, Marissa kind of broke down in tears. And then the end of the episode, which I will then now watch later, Marissa and Hanna are now face to face again. And Marissa has a picture of Hanna on her phone and keeps staring at it, which is a little creepy, but I do think it's coming from a good place. But yeah, I don't know about Marissa. And I think I said this in my review for the trailer for season 2 of Hanna, that I really feel that at some point Marissa is going to become an ally of Hanna, like a legitimate ally of Hanna's, and could possibly die. They killed Eric in the first season. Who knows if they're going to kill Marissa in the second season? I just have an inkling that that's where this is going. So it's going to be interesting. For me personally, I would give this episode a 4 out of 5. I definitely liked the first episode of season 6 a lot more than the first episode of season 1. And that's no disrespect to season 1. I did enjoy season 1, but I am liking this faster pace in season 2. Whereas season 1, so there's the thing, you have to go into that sweet spot, right? Some shows, too much is going on, and then other shows, not enough is going on. Season 1, there wasn't a whole lot going on. You had like one thing going on, and they concentrated on that, and at some point you felt that they didn't even need 8 episodes. This thing could have been, say, 4 or 5. But what they're doing in season 2 is they are establishing more, they are introducing more, they're getting other people's perspective as opposed to just Hanna or just Eric at that point. And I like that, and I think that was very smart of season 2. So far, I'm only 1 episode in, but so far I like the direction that they're going more here than I did with season 1. I think it's possible to really get into that sweet spot. I've watched plenty of shows and plenty of movies where I felt that way too much was happening and they're introducing too many things and none of it was cohesive and none of it made sense. Shows like Penny Dreadful City of Angels did a really good job of having a bunch of shit going on, but kind of still grounding everything. And then, of course, having everything come together in the end. Doom Patrol is a fantastic show right now that you need to watch. I'm just throwing out all these great shows that you definitely need to watch. But like an example of, say, one show that really had one singular thing going on, Defending Jacob really kind of was one singular thing. I know this much is true. The Mark Ruffalo show on HBO also was essentially one singular thing, and both of those shows knew how to do it. With me, Hanna season 1 didn't do it so well. There were some episodes that were really great. There were some scenes that were really, really great. Overall, I think that the season could have been shorter, but so far, like what I'm seeing this season 2, so I can't wait to keep watching it. And I think that wraps up this review and this tea time. I went a little longer than I was intending to, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So we have some really exciting stuff going on, new things that we are trying to introduce and just keep you all entertained. I hope certainly that everyone is doing their part in trying to flatten the curve as much as possible. And I hope everyone out there has a happy 4th of July. Please make sure that you check us out everywhere. You could, of course, go to geekvibesnation.com. That gives you all of our social media platforms, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Vero. Of course, we're here on YouTube, so we have everything. There's movie reviews, TV reviews, opinion pieces, and all that good stuff. So please make sure you check that out. And just have a fantastic day. Please like all of our podcasts. Please like and subscribe. We have a lot of people here that do a lot of amazing work and put a lot of art and dedication here. So we would just love to see that you all enjoy that. And of course, if there's any content that you would like to see that we aren't doing currently, then just please let us know. All right. Have a great day, everyone. And again, happy 4th of July. Bye.